The White House authorizes airstrikes to defend U.S.-backed rebel forces in Syria, leading to speculation the Assad government could be targeted directly. Migrants gathered in the French port of Calais are driving a wedge between Britain and France, who started exchanging threats. Israel's president comes under pressure from both Palestinians and Israelis after the death of a toddler in a West Bank arson attack. This is RT International coming to you live from Moscow. I'm Marina Joshi. Welcome to the program. Barack Obama has given authorization for U.S. plans to bomb Syria to help defend anti-government rebels. Theoretically, the new rules of engagement could even allow troops loyal to leader Bashar Assad to be directly targeted. Officially, the U.S. should only be protecting the fighters trained and armed by Washington against Islamic State.
We will take the steps necessary to ensure that these forces could successfully carry out their mission.
However, Washington's never kept quiet about what it wants in Syria.
The regime of Bashar al-Assad must come to an end.
Assad has to go.
It's time for Assad to get out of the way.
It is time for Bashar to go.
Washington has a long history of supporting what it brands a moderate Syrian opposition. But just over a month ago, a Pentagon chief admitted it was a struggle to find trustworthy recruits for U.S. programs.
We are trying to recruit and identify people that, as you put it, can be counted on to have the right mindset and ideology, not be aligned with groups like ISIL. It turns out to be very hard to identify people who meet both of those criteria.
A journalist and political commentator, Al Ibrahim, believes that U.S. jets could deprive Assad's troops of the last advantage they have over the rebels.
The main concern here is not the fact that the rebel force trained by the U.S. Against ISIL would make achievements using the protection of the coalition's air force. It is the interference of the coalition and the airstrikes of the coalition against government forces, against the forces of President Bashar al-Assad, which would could turn the course of events in Syria. The Syrian army, the main advantage it has over the rebels right now is having an air force, and once this advantage is neutralized, all odds are on the table.
The U.S. has already received permission from Turkey to launch missions from air bases on its territory. Both countries agreed to bomb ISIL positions on Syrian soil and to support the rebels on the ground. The aim of the move is to push radicals away from the Turkish-Syrian border, establishing a so-called safe zone. In 2011, Western intervention in Libya also started with an aerial operation aimed at creating no-fly territories. And here's Al Ibrahim once again on the matter.
Many people fear that this could be the introduction of something much worse for the country, not maybe a no-fly zone, maybe dividing the country in a de facto way where the rebels would assume control of certain parts of the country with the air coverage of the coalition of Turkey, and then the Syrian government is unable to enter these areas, is unable to bomb these areas, and the country is divided, and there's nothing that can be done about it because there is a certain balance of power.
The war in Syria will be discussed by the top diplomats from Russia, the U.S. and Saudi Arabia, who are meeting in Qatar. It's thought the Iranian nuclear deal will be a main sticking point. We'll be bringing you more on this in just a few minutes. Don't go away.